Hello friends, today we will be studying the osteological features of atypical thoracic vertebrae. Now the atypical thoracic vertebrae include the first, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th thoracic vertebra. Now what we see here is the first, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th thoracic vertebra. Now when we see the features of the first thoracic vertebra, it's going to articulate with the 7 cervical vertebra, so it's going to have some features like cervical vertebrae. Now when you look at the body of the first thoracic vertebra, it is like that of the cervical vertebrae. That is, the body is oval so that the transverse diameter is more than the anteroposterior diameter, and because of the concavity of the vertebral foramen, we can also say that the body is bean shaped. Plus, what we see here are the two lateral lippings of the body, and also anteriorly the body is beveled. These are the features which we see in the body of the first thoracic vertebra. When we have a look at the costal facets, the body shows a superior costal facet which is a complete facet for articulation with the first rib, while the inferior costal facet is a demi-facet like other typical thoracic vertebrae, and it articulates with the second rib. When we have a look at the spinous process, the spinous process here is nearly horizontal and doesn't go downwards as is seen in the typical thoracic vertebrae. And also what we see here is the superior vertebral notch, which is well marked in the first thoracic vertebra, and it is not so in the typical thoracic vertebrae. So these are the characteristic features which help us in identifying the first thoracic vertebra. We then move on to study the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th thoracic vertebrae. The differences seen here, or the special features, are all concerned with the costal facets. The 9th thoracic vertebra, the body has only one superior costal facet which is a demi-facet and articulates with the 9th rib. The inferior articular facet here is absent. The 10th thoracic vertebra, the body shows a single costal facet which is situated at the superior border of the body and extends to the root of the pedicle. The 11th thoracic vertebra, body again has a single complete costal facet, and this costal facet extends on to the upper part of the pedicle. The transverse process here does not show any articular facet, while the anterior surface of the 9th and 10th thoracic vertebrae does show a articular facet. So 11th is different, as in having a single costal facet on the body which is almost on the pedicle and no articular facet on the transverse process. When we see the 12th thoracic vertebra, the shape of the 12th thoracic vertebra is similar to the lumbar vertebrae. The body here is large and bean shaped with transverse diameter more than the anteroposterior diameter. the vertebral foramen is much smaller as compared to the body. When we have a look at the costal facet, the 12th thoracic vertebra has a single complete costal facet which is more on the lower part of the pedicle. When we have a look at the transverse process of the 12th thoracic vertebra, it is short and stubby, similar to other lumbar vertebrae, and shows presence of superior, inferior and lateral tubercles similar to the tubercles seen in the lumbar vertebrae. The superior articular facets here are like other thoracic vertebrae, flat and facing backwards and laterally, while the inferior articular facets are like lumbar vertebrae, facing forwards and laterally. Thus, the 12th thoracic vertebra will have features similar to lumbar vertebrae as it articulates with the first lumbar vertebra inferiorly. Thus, we have seen how to differentiate between the atypical thoracic vertebrae, the 1st, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th vertebrae. Finally, let us see how do we hold any vertebra in the normal anatomical position. For that, the body of the vertebra has to be anteriorly placed. The spinous process should be pointing posteriorly. Identify the superior articular facet which needs to be superior. The inferior articular facets need to be placed inferiorly, and that is how, since all the vertebrae lie in the midline, you hold the vertebra in this orientation the way it lies in your body. That's how we hold the vertebra in the normal anatomical position. Thank you.